It is Friday, January 26, 2024. Welcome to the Gvd Nightly News, Week in Review, a recap of the top stories this past week. My name is Shannon LeBron. Thanks for joining us. The past week started off with more bloodshed and an increase in homicides. On Sunday, January 21st at about 7 p.m., Gillian Talian was shot dead near his home at Balata, quarter of Babonneau. He was reportedly accosted near his home by three masked men. The victim was rushed to the OKEU hospital by relatives where he succumbed to his injuries. According to our sources, the victim was involved in an altercation with rival parties in the Pigeon Island area about an hour prior to his demise. Gillian Talian was killed a mere 3 days before his birthday. Police are appealing to anyone with information on the recent homicide and gun violence to contact the Criminal Investigations Department or the crime hotline. That number, 555. A Marshall man received the scare of his life Friday morning after an electrical shock in what appears to be a freak accident. 28-year-old Joshua Ken Joseph received an electrical shock while resting on a concrete Lucelec pole. The individual reportedly collapsed after getting shocked. Miraculously, he received no physical injuries or burns. He was reportedly en route to work at the time of the incident. It occurred at approximately 7:20 this morning at the intersection of Rock Hall and Marshall Roads. The victim was conveyed to the OKU hospital by ambulance. The injured man has since been dispatched from hospital and is thankful to be alive. Meanwhile, the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited, Lucelec, began a probe into the electrical incident at Marshall on Friday. In responding to the incident, Lucelec announced service interruptions affecting parts of Castries East, including Bagatelle, Bishop's Gap, Arundel Hill, and Marshall. The utility also dispatched crews to the field as part of its investigation. Lucelec's technicians remained on the scene investigating the matter to ascertain the cause of the electrical shock. Now, the company says it is committed to ensuring the safety of both the public and its infrastructure, and further details will be provided following the investigation. The Independence Committee held the official launch of the 45th Independence Anniversary celebrations on January 22nd. Activities have also been unveiled designed to promote unity and further development of the island. Citizens from all walks of life are being encouraged to showcase the national pride and support the observance
of the products that our local designers are putting on show.
St. Lucia's 45th anniversary of independence will be celebrated under the theme Duva Assam, building a nation through unity, resilience, and creativity. 2024 marks the third and final year independence will be celebrated under this theme. It echoes a call for all St. Lucians at home and abroad to join hands in national development. The Cabinet Secretary and co-chair of the Independence Committee urged citizens to play their part to preserve the best of St. Lucia for future generations.
The public sector Public investments will provide job opportunities and generate a more robust level of economic growth. It is becoming increasingly important to forge partnerships with global organizations to explore more sources of renewable energy and undertake initiatives to reduce the effects of climate change.
The 2024 Independence logo and promotional video were unveiled by the reigning Carnival Queen, Shanice Butcher. Honorable Gibeon Ferdinand, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Culture and Information, highlighted the activities that will be exhibited across the island for independence.
This ministry is the lead ministry for several of the agencies who are putting together and planning a lot of the events for this year's independence. And what better way can we show or exhibit a sense of nation building than to feature the various aspects of our culture, our creativity, that are amplified through the events that we're putting on. And I'll just name a few of them. Export the runway. We have our local designers on show. And if you were there last year, you'd have seen the quality of the products that our local designers are putting on show. All made in St. Lucia, all used authentically St. Lucia.
St. Lucia attained independence from Great Britain in 1979. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
You're watching the Gvd Nightly News Week in Review. Local health authorities this past week announced that they are closely monitoring the presence of a new COVID-19 variant on the island. This after the Omicron variant, HV1, was confirmed in samples submitted to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA. Citizens are being urged to take the necessary precautions to stop the spread.
On January 17, 2024, St. Lucia received confirmation of the Omicron variant HV1 in samples submitted by the National Reference Ezra Long Laboratory. The disclosure was made by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belma George in a statement on Monday. Its emergence demonstrates how the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19, is able to mutate and give rise to new, highly contagious variants. In a statement, the CMO outlined several measures which are encouraged to reduce the spread.
Maintain proper hand hygiene with regular hand washing. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing and wash hands thoroughly after coughing or sneezing. Wear a face mask where possible in crowded places and when presenting with flu-like symptoms. Avoid sharing cups and utensils. Avoid close contact with others who are sick. Clean surfaces and objects using household detergent. Refrain from sending sick children to school or daycare centers until they are resolved. If symptomatic, avoid contact with people at higher risk of severe illness such as infants, the elderly, and those who are immunocompromised. Educational institutions, workplaces, business places, and healthcare facilities are advised to strengthen the sanitary protocols to reduce transmission.
Around the island, health institutions have registered an increase in the number of persons presenting with flu-like illnesses during the last 2 months. Citizens are being urged to take advantage of the free flu vaccine now available.
The COVID-19 Janssen vaccine is also available and can be taken as a booster, especially for persons with risk factors or chronic illness. COVID-19 testing is also available free of charge at the wellness centers. The Ministry of Health alerts the general public to take the necessary measures to reduce the impact of respiratory illness at this time.
The annual flu seasons run from October to March. With the increasing trends, health officials plan to step up surveillance and education efforts. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
During the week under review, St. Lucia's Prime Minister credited his predecessor for creation of the controversial Tax Administration and Procedures Bill, which is currently in circulation.
The crime situation continues to be a major problem in St. Lucia, with gun violence spiraling out of control. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, January 23rd, United Workers...
We will get back to that story in just a bit. Let's continue. The main opposition, United Workers' Party, continued to apply pressure on the government to recall and squash the draft Tax Administration and Procedures, among other things, a 100% increase in penalties for unpaid taxes. It also grants the controller of the Inland Revenue Department authority to seize private and business assets for failure to pay taxes. The UWP hosted a press conference on Tuesday to discuss its objection to the draft bill and other matters of national concern.
The crime situation continues to be a major problem in St. Lucia, with gun violence spiraling out of control. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, January 23rd, United Workers' Party Chairman Ferrell Prudent said the current government lacks leadership and strategic plans that will help in reducing the crime situation. According to him, citizens no longer feel safe in their communities and are crying out for something to be done.
The only thing he can say to you every time that a child or fellow St. Lucian is murdered is that, I don't know. I have no idea. My father was the police, not me. But for heaven's sakes, after close to 3 years as National Security Minister, if your father was the one who had all the knowledge, you should pass on that portfolio to someone who is better able to take care of the people of St. Lucia and offer them security.
According to statistics, most of the crimes which occur are committed by young people and involve illegal firearms. The United Workers' Party chairman is calling on the Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. to step up to his responsibility as National Security Minister or resign. He further stated that giving new vehicles to police officers will not address the crime situation in St. Lucia. Prudent is calling for a bipartisan approach to tackle the crisis.
Folks, I have to say the United Workers' Party, we are prepared and ready to work with this government. And since crime is a national issue, I want to say to Philip Pierre and his government, it is time to include the ideas of the United Workers' Party. It is time to prepare to work with the United Workers' Party to be able to manage crime. We will never solve crime totally here in this country, but we must find a way to manage crime so that the economy can start to grow, so that students can feel safe at school, so that parents cannot have to worry when the kids leave home, they may never come back.
To date, St. Lucia has recorded 7 homicides since the start of this year. This is among the bloodiest January on record. From the GVD News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
News broke this week that dozens of workers at the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation (SRDF) were placed on the breadline amidst growing inflation in country and already high unemployment. The workers are said to have received termination letters and are unclear about what their future holds. At the center of the termination, perceived allegiance to the opposition UWP. The former parliamentary representative Harold Stanislas addressed the development at the press conference hosted by the opposition on Tuesday. He further called for the Prime Minister to intervene.
Over 50 employees have been laid off by the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation. The termination has left several single mothers on the breadline, further increasing high unemployment in the country. But why? The workers were sent home allegedly over politics. Former Parliament representative for Soufriere Fortija, Harold Stanislas, has expressed dissatisfaction with the recent terminations.
Some of those who were laid off last Friday, they've been serving the organization for over 10 years. 10 years. These are experienced tour guides. They are also single mothers. They are also the only breadwinners in their households. And they were just sent home in the peak of the tourism season.
Some of the recently laid off workers have served the SRDF for many years and were allegedly terminated without proper notice or information about severance pay and other benefits. Among the staff terminated are tour guides who were trained by the SRDF and are bilingual. Now, they have been given their matching order.
We have to note that those tour guides are trained in speaking and giving out the tours in other languages. They are bilingual. The foundation expended monies to train the guides in French, in Spanish, and in German. And we have all those nationalities flocking to our shores, whether it is by cruise ships, by yachts, by power boats, or as stay over tourists at the hotels. And today, they have been sent home in the peak season. And the question is why, ladies and gentlemen? Why at this time of the year?
Efforts to contact the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation for comment were unsuccessful. The fired staff are now in search of a new paycheck and fair closure from the former employer. From the GVD News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Also this week, Liat 1974 Limited, the once pride and joy of the Caribbean, took its final flight. The airline officially ceased operations from the VC International Airport on Monday, clearing the skies for Liat 2020 Limited. Liat has been in administration since July 2020, and its government shareholders from Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Barbados, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines had agreed to
before Liat's final
in 2022. Monday's last flight was described as a bittersweet moment for Liat and its employees.
journey into Antigua, passengers disembarked the aircraft in St. Martin and Tortola for one last time under the brand Liat 1974 Limited.
Nice doing the last flight with Liat.
They make it 16 years since I ride with Liat, so good luck Liat. I hope they come through again.
At the Terence B. Letsom International Airport in Tortola, the water salute as the regional carrier departs for the last time. On arrival into the VC Bird International Airport, those who have kept Liat in the skies during the difficult periods greeted the airline. So too were Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Sir Roy Benjamin and Tourism Minister the Honourable Charles Fernandez. Both government ministers reacted to the last Liat 1974 Limited flight.
We are determined to ensure that this airline continues to fly, bigger crews, bigger aircraft, a bigger staff with professionalism. I must say one thing too. Liat has flown these skies for many, many years. We have the safest safety record in the airline industry. We shall build upon it, and with these persons, the committed persons working for Liat, we will remain.
An emotional moment for all of us. Liat is a household name throughout the region, and again, hats off to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet when we decided that Liat had to continue. And it's been not an easy task going it alone for the last almost 4 years this year. But the commitment was there, the vision was there, and we are planning now to move to Liat 2020.
More reactions came from long-time Liat employees.
Fully agree with that. A change has to be made, change on both sides, with internally and externally. When I say internally, I mean within the new organization and the supporting factors externally. But I do believe that there is a place for Liat. There's a place for Liat in the future. This is not the end. I think that we will see something bigger and better from Liat 2020.
We hope and pray, not just for myself, but for the younger generation coming up, that we can leave something for them to enjoy like how I did. This flight, although it was sad, it was better. It was a good feeling to know that we have served the Caribbean islands for so long. And not to jump down anybody's throat, but whenever we had disasters, Liat was the first. Liat is always there. Liat was always there. But it's sad that it has to go this way. I hope the new entity coming up can fill the show that we're going to leave. It's a big one to fill, but I believe that we can do it.
2024, all employees will be made redundant. Though the future for some employees may be uncertain, the government has given the assurance that Liat 2020 Limited, a new entity, will be back in the sky again. Terry Andrew, ABS News.
This is the Gvd Nightly News Week in Review. The National Council on Public Transportation updated the nation on plans for introduction of a much talked about cashless system for the public transportation sector. The system would remove from bus users the option of paying and or receiving change with physical money, paper or coins. The NCOPT says it will improve efficiency and address security concerns, but the idea has been met with objection from some drivers, from whom we'll hear from in just a bit. But first, NCOPT President Godfrey Ferdinand spoke to GVD's Tammy Frederick.
President of the National Council on Public Transportation, Godfrey Ferdinand is looking forward to implementing a cashless system for bus drivers and passengers. The cashless system promises to be an easier one, especially for the younger generation. According to the NCOPT president, one of the benefits of a cashless system is a reduction in conflicts between drivers and passengers, addressing security concerns.
That technology is something that is ongoing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We will be doing it just like every other cashless systems in the world, where we use a card system where you can use debit, it's tap and go, and it will be easy for both persons that are not computer savvy, not technologically savvy, as well as the average person.
Mr. Ferdinand stated that this cashless system decision was made due to the surge in the increase in robbery. The plan is to have a pilot project which will take into consideration all the concerns of the public as well as the concern of the operators. A public education campaign will also be rolled out to explain how the new system works.
When we are close to implementing it, after we've done all the necessary I would say checks and balances, collecting of data, then we will start doing the PR. The PR will be done both by the company and the bank that we will be working with.
The National Council on Public Transportation is hoping the new system will help modernize the transportation sector, making travel easier and protecting drivers and commuters. No date has been given for its introduction. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Meanwhile, minibus drivers in the south voiced their objection to the proposed cashless system during the week. Drivers on the 2H route, one of the longest on Ireland, spanning V4 to Castries, say the system is not in their best interests. Our news desk caught up with a past executive member on Thursday.
2H drivers plying the route from Vieux-Fort to Castries have rejected the proposed cashless system. According to the drivers, the proposal will only benefit the owners and operator of the cashless system. Former executive member and driver on the 2H route, Vianney Jacob, argues that the cashless system will further disadvantage operators on the longer routes.
Because our route and Soufrière route is the longest route on the island. We are burning more fuel, more warranty. We change tires very often, brakes very often, and the price we are getting presently is a price of 2013, and we are in 2024. So we cannot allow a middleman to come in and take more from our money. That's why we are rejecting that cashless system. We have no confidence at this time.
According to Jacob, the cashless system is opposed by 95% of 2H drivers. He says the proposed system does not take into consideration the day-to-day operations of a minibus.
We rather take the time we are taking now to collect our money, and we don't want no cashless system. Number one, if you have a breakdown, where you can take care of your breakdown immediately. If there's a cashless system, you have to go to the bank. You have to do all kind of things. As we don't want to end up in that kind of system where we can solve our problems immediately if we have a breakdown.
The former executive member says the 2H drivers are prepared to stand alone with their objection to the NCOPT proposal. From the GVD News Desk, I am Michaela Charles Noel reporting.
Some good news came this week as the Ministry of Commerce and Consumer Affairs announced it had received a supply of sugar. The commodity had been in shortage in recent weeks, leaving a bitter taste in the mouths of consumers. The Director of Consumer Affairs provided the update.
Sugar is back in stock. A shipment of the much sought-after commodity arrived on Ireland earlier this week. Director of Consumer Affairs, Wendy Frederick, says officials are rationing the current supply.
As I said last week, we were expecting a shipment early this week, and we have received that shipment. We are also expecting more shipments within the next week or two.
The director provided the update to the GVD News Desk on Thursday. She also reassures consumers the ministry is taking steps to limit a reoccurrence.
Yes, we have secured a supply of sugar and have even contracted outside of our regular suppliers to ensure that we do not experience any shortages. The ministry has put measures in place to mitigate any shortages of sugar.
While the commodity is now available at the government warehouse and at favorite outlets, consumers are encouraged to conserve. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Shadrick Sinclair reporting.
The Castries Constituencies Council implemented a new measure to help address the long-standing problem of uncontrolled vending on the sidewalks of the William Peter Boulevard. Over the years, the number of vendors at the location in Castries has increased, sparking concern from business owners and pedestrians. A new vendor system limits the number of days vendors can operate at the boulevard. Now, while officials say it is for the greater good, some vendors are unhappy.
The new vending schedule for the William Peter Boulevard was put into place effective Monday, January 22nd. This came after discussion between the management of the Castries Constituencies Council and a vendors committee. Now, vendors are barred from selling goods in the William Peter Boulevard from Mondays to Wednesdays, but can do so from Thursdays through Saturdays. CCC Operations Manager Nikki Calderon explained that the schedule had been in place before COVID-19. He says the new schedule is meant to bring some level of control.
So lately we have seen overcrowding in terms of vending in the boulevard. And, the business places operating within that area, have had issue with it, understandably so. And so what we decided to do was to meet with the Boulevard Committee to find a solution. And what it is, we met in October, and we decided that come January that we will allow persons to vend only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and also during specific occasions, that is Valentine's Day, Independence Day, that persons will be able to vend during the course of the week. Also, we have extended Constitution Park to them, for example, from the 8th of February. The 13th, the 12th or the 13th, we have what we call a Lovers Village. So basically, it's a give and take. We understand the situation, but also we are trying to reach out to the vendors to say, hey, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is made unavailable, whereas Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we can accommodate.
The new schedule has not been welcomed by some vendors who say it is affecting their full-time business as well as their income. According to them, the time is wrong given the downturn in the local economy.
I'm not mad, I'm angry because it is unfair to us, because since we only depend on vending in the boulevard as an income to pay our bills and for our children, to maintain our children, vending like from Thursday to Saturday, it's not sufficient.
They didn't give anybody any notice. They just announced it, and they didn't give us time to think about, have a meeting first and discuss it and stuff like that. I find that's unprofessional of them.
One vendor told our news desk on Wednesday he is adopting an approach of wait and see and will be monitoring the development closely. However, another popular city vendor has called for others to follow the rule, even though he was captured vending on a non-approved day.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, loi yo passé nous doit aller et puis ça piscine c'est pitch c'est vendeurs. Si on yo pas venir vendre là pour 3 jours, moi d'accord avec ça. Well, moi pas ça là gen ça avec ces police là même parler bon nous yo dit nous about lui et moi tant y les news encore. Tout ça gouvernement fait, moi même d'accord et puis because yo même ta fait nous manger, yo pas manger tout. That's all I have to say.
With the new schedule, the Castries Constituencies Council says allowance will be made for special occasions like Christmas to allow daily vending in the boulevard. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
You are watching the Gvd Nightly News Week in Review live on Flow Channel 115, YouTube and Facebook. Back in a moment.
Coming soon, the same excellent Luselect service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. You can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
So, this is goodbye. A professional one. A meticulous one. One with unique options. And total support. With multiple locations, we are focused on your hour of need. And so, this is the final goodbye. Be it traditional, at sea, or cremation, the Crick family will be here to help your family during life's most difficult moments. Crick's Funeral Home, telephone 452-2780 and 459-9212.
And Nestor's Auto Parts, located on the Labrie-Viford Highway, is your place for auto parts. We have suspension parts, mounts, brakes, shocks, and so much more.
We specialize in accessories like mats, batteries, horns, lubricants, and much more.
We're open from Mondays to Saturdays from 8 to 5 and Sundays on most holidays from 8 to 1.
L'opri, Ernesto vai depois.
At Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914 or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
Gvd Nightly News Week in Review. Celebrations to mark the 170th anniversary of the St. Joseph's Convent, one of St. Lucia's leading learning institutions, officially got underway Wednesday morning with an opening mass at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. Students, both past and present, adorned in the traditional blue and white and cheered on by well-wishers, turned out in large numbers to celebrate the legacy of SJC.
Spanning many generations, Smurfettes took the spotlight on Wednesday, January 24th in downtown Castries to mark the start of Spanning many generations, Smurfettes took the spotlight on Wednesday, January 24th in downtown Castries to mark the start of celebrations of the 170th anniversary of the St. Joseph's Convent. SJC Pride, a celebratory mood and thanksgiving punctuated the opening mass as students celebrated in song, dance, and other artistic expressions. Principal Sister Rufina Donat told the audience the celebration should also be a time for reflection on the legacy and decorated history of the SJC.
As we gather to celebrate 170 years of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Cluny, establishment in St. Lucia and the beginning of Ave Maria Schools and St. Lucia's Convent Secondary School, we give thanks to God for bringing us thus far. Today we honor not only the passage of time, but the countless lives that have been touched and molded within the hallowed walls of our schools. As we reflect on our rich history, let us recognize the profound impact of the dedicated sisters, teachers, and staff who have been the guiding lights, shaping minds and instilling values.
The St. Joseph's Convent is credited for providing the highest level of education for thousands of young girls in a Christian environment. The school has also held its place amongst the top on island. The school's principal also used Wednesday's occasion to offer a public apology for any errors or shortcomings which may have occurred throughout the SJC's 170 years of service.
On this momentous occasion, our school's 170th anniversary, we want to extend our heartfelt apologies for any errors or shortcomings that may have occurred throughout our long history of education. We want to express sincere regret for any oversights and commit to learning from them as we strive for excellence in education for the years to come. Together, everyone, let us embark on a journey to the pages of our school's legacy, celebrating the enduring spirit of education and faith that has stood the test of time.
The milestone celebration is being held under the theme 170, Keep It a Legacy. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Michaela Charles Noel reporting.
A Caribbean private sector-led regional ferry service was launched on Tuesday, January 23rd with the aim to increase and improve transportation among several regional countries, including St. Lucia. The service is expected to begin by year-end and was launched one day after Liat 1974 Limited took its final flight. The ferry service investors are hoping to fill the void.
The investment group Connect Caribbean wants to secure US $50 million to get the first phase of the ferry service in operation. The phase rollout, expected to come on stream in the last quarter of 2024, will offer service on multiple vessels with the capacity to transport up to 8,000 passengers, cargo, and manufactured goods and produce. Dr. Andre Thomas, co-founder and chief executive officer of Upturn Funds Caribbean Pleon Group, is one of the investment partners. He says will be expanded by the end of 2024.
We're looking initially at starting with 3 vessels. One will have a capacity of around about 800 passengers. It will have about 200 first-class cabins where people can lie down, sleep with bathrooms and everything. So it's going to be a great customer experience. It will have restaurants on board. It will be very similar to a cruise experience. And then we'll have a fast ferry that will complement that. And then we'll have a cargo ship, dedicated cargo ship, that would move between Trinidad, Guyana, Barbados, and St. Lucia.
Thomas also stated that the private sector-led ferry service would create job opportunities with over 200 people employed in the project's first phase.
The jobs that we created within the headquarters, that's the second level of jobs. There are also jobs that are going to be created in the cargo division, and then the jobs that are going to be created from the e-commerce division, because the e-commerce division will need to have folks that the goods have to come into the warehouse. They have to be verified. Then they have to move. So there's going to be warehouse jobs created, and then there are going to be jobs created in every single destination that the ferry service goes.
The investors are optimistic of finding success to make the project bankable and profitable and to add value to Caribbean travel, its investors and shareholders. From the GVD News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
On January 23rd, the PI Bridge was officially handed over to the government of St. Lucia after 10 years and several hurdles. The new bridge was completed under the World Bank-funded Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project (DVRP) to help reduce St. Lucia's vulnerability to climate change and extreme weather hazards. The PI Bridge was destroyed during the December 2013 Christmas Eve trough.
The new PI Bridge creates a permanent link from the southern quadrant to the rest of the island. Importantly, it connects the communities of Labrie, Choiseul, Saltibus, and Soufrière to the town of Beaufort. Its design tells the story of drummers, dancers, and singers who have contributed to the rich heritage of the community. The parliamentary representative for Choiseul Saltibus, Honorable Bradley Felix, highlighted how the bridge will improve the community.
You know, since the completion of the bridge, every time I pass over, I think what gives me the most satisfaction is that when we were having community consultations, the recommendations that were given by the residents were incorporated in the final design. Because PI is a community that's very rich in our African heritage. Because I remember 2 to 3 decades ago when I was a lot younger, coming to any activity in the community of PI, you would be captured by the addictive drumbeat of the seas, Kenna and Gibbs, and the sweet voice of Clifton, Dudu, Joseph, and dancers like Miss Angele and Etienne.
The bridge is a regular route for residents in the south of the island, and it was destroyed twice by natural disasters. A temporary single-lane Bailey Bridge was used as a bypass during the construction process of the new bridge. The newly constructed bridge is a 2-lane and climate-resistant and is designed to withstand extreme weather events. Felix Fernandez Shaw from the European Union spoke about the benefit their contribution will have on the population.
And we are really delighted to take part, rain permitting, in looking at the bridge, which I think has improved massively the lives of the community. And please continue counting on the European Union to be a partner for St. Lucia, as much as we like St. Lucia to be a partner for the European Union.
The new PI bridge also helps reduce commuting time. It is also expected to boost economic activity in the southern part of the island. The project was funded by the World Bank, European Union, and then by the local contractor Obisado Engineering. From the GVD News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
That's the Week in Review, a second look at some of the biggest stories making headlines this past week. Thanks so much for watching. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Shannon LeBon. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914. Or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
Coming soon, the same excellent Luselect service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
So, this is goodbye. A professional one. A meticulous one. One with unique options. And total support. With multiple locations, we are focused on your hour of need. And so, this is the final goodbye. Be it traditional, at sea, or cremation, the Crick family will be here to help your family during life's most difficult moments. Crick's Funeral Home, telephone 452-2780 and 459-9212.
And Nestor's Auto Parts, located on the Labrie-Viford Highway, is your place for auto parts. We have suspension parts, mounts, brakes, shocks, and so much more.
We specialize in accessories like mats, batteries, horns, lubricants, and much more.
We're open from Mondays to Saturdays from 8 to 5 and Sundays on most holidays from 8 to 1.
Lopui and Nestor Gvd Nightly.
Real estate transactions are now made easy. Whether buying, selling, or renting residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, or touristic property, we offer the best deals in real estate transactions with professional support, including valuation, material sourcing, and construction. Contact Ed Harris and Associates, your courteous and efficient real estate agents. Call 485-1456 or email carrotbiz@gmail.com.